All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another session here on Facebook Live. My name is Patrick France, Senior Instructor here at VectorVest. Glad to be with you guys. Before we get started, just want to make sure you guys can hear me. Everything is coming through loud and clear on your end. If so, just let me know in the comment section. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know where you're tuning in from today. As always, if you're a VV High Flyer, make sure to show some love for the VV High Flyers in the chat there as well. But once again, good morning, everybody. Hopefully you're all doing well. Today we've got a topic that, is typically overlooked by a lot of people, especially new users, because there's some real hidden gems inside the mobile app that people don't realize are there. So we're going to talk about some of those today, show you a few tips and tricks on where you can find those features, how you can utilize them to make some money for yourself in the market. For anybody just tuning in for the first time, just to give you a little insight here, what we typically do is we start to take a look at what's going on in the market today. Then we dive into our topic. So we're going to show you exactly where you can find some tips and tricks on how to make some additional gains in your portfolio utilizing the mobile app. And then, as always, we analyze any stock that you want to take a look at in 20 seconds or less. So if you're here and want to get your stocks analyzed, if you're not already a subscriber to the mobile app and you want to learn about it, you want to see how the analysis is done, make sure to stick around towards the end as we analyze any stock you want to look at. Awesome. So Frank, thank you. Nadir, Steve, Kellen, Omar, Ramel, Logan, glad to have you all here. Mike, tuning in from New York City, welcome. See a lot of people tuning in here today. Awesome. Some new faces, some familiar faces. So glad to have everybody here. Welcome once again. This is a community based off of the mobile app for VectorVest subscribers and potential VectorVest subscribers to help them learn how to make money. Our target or goal here every single week is to help you educate yourself and become, or to the point where you can become financially independent and help prepare yourself for your future or make additional income today. So, if you want to learn how to become more successful in the market, you're at the right spot. Now, with that, let's go ahead, jump right into the mobile app, get started here today. So that way we can take a look at our main topic for the session. So as you can see right now, the market is one tick into the green. Therefore, we're mildly bullish, and VectorVest advocates buying safe, undervalued stocks that are rising in price at this time. As always, we have the market guidance videos. If you aren't watching these on a nightly basis, I highly recommend you to do so. This is where you can get some real insight on what's going on in the market, what to expect for tomorrow, what news you need to be aware of, and how to prepare yourself for the following trading day. In essence, just simply watching this video will make sure you never get caught off guard by anything that's going on in the market. Then as we scroll down, take a look at the color guard. So we use three components that we focus on to analyze the overall market. First off is the price, which is an arithmetic indexed average of about 8,200 stocks that we track in the US market. And we feel this gives us a better representation on what's actually occurring in the market, because it's not just looking at the Dow's 30 or the Nasdaq's 100 or even the S&P's 500, but it's looking at about 8,200 stocks on a nightly basis for you. The next is the RT, or relative timing. This is going to be focused on the short-term price trend in the market. It's cast on a scale of 0 to 2 to keep it simple for yourselves. Above 1, short-term trend is up. Below 1, the short-term trend is down. As we can see, it's at 1 exactly right now, so therefore the short-term trend in the market is neutral. However, if you look at the overall trend, it has been moving lower, telling us that short-term momentum in the market has been waning, that this rally that we've seen in the market since the lows of March maybe starting to become mature, starting to slow down here at best. And then the third is our buy to sell ratio. This looks at the overall health of the market. Every single day we give a buy, sell, or hold rating, and this is looking at the ratio between the buys and sells. If there's more buys and sells in a database, there will be a positive buy to sell ratio, or buy to sell ratio above 1, which would show strength in the overall market. Below 1 shows us there's more sells and buys or weakness in the overall market. As we can see, 1.55 tells us there currently is more buys and sells, but the overall trend of this has been moving lower as well, even as the market's been moving higher, setting us up for a bearish divergence and telling us that less and less stocks are participating in this rally. Another way of looking at it is, This rally has become more and more focused primarily mainly at tech stocks. If you haven't been paying attention, tech stocks have been leading the charge, really been some of the best performers. Everything else is slowly fizzling out right now. And then all three of these indicators are comprised to come up with the MTI, or the market timing indicator. This is looking at the underlying trend of the market. It's cast on a scale of 0 to 2. So above 1, underlying trend is up. Below 1, underlying trend is down. So we can see underlying trend still remains up because the market's still moving higher, but it has been slowly dissipating over the last few weeks here. Then as we scroll down, we get the advanced declines. Right now we're sitting basically flat. 44% of stocks moving higher, 43% of stocks moving lower, and about 13% unchanged for the day. So that tells us we don't really have a strong bias in either direction. When we look at the advanced declines, we use it to identify confirmation of whether or not we should be buying or selling for a day. As we saw, we had some green lights. It said we could potentially start to buy, but when we look at the advanced declines, we like to see at least twice as many stocks advancing than declining, and we clearly don't have that today, telling us that no matter what, even if you see the major indices up today, the odds are not in our favor of buying a winning trade here today. Then we scroll down, we take a look at the major indices. Dow's actually being one of the best performers so far, up just shy of 1%. NASDAQ is essentially flat. S&P up about 0.5%. Overall, VectorVest composite up about 0.1% for the day. Let's see. Already seeing some questions coming in. What does the star mean in the price block? Great question, Curtis. So he's asking about the stars here. If you, the stars are referring to the RT Kicker combo. It's a timing system that we use here at VectorVest. When you see a star, that means the short-term momentum of the market is in favor of that. For the red light, for example, that tells us we had a red light telling us that if you were going to open up a contra ETF or a bearish position, that would be a day to do so. And you have short-term momentum in favor of that red light as well. If it's a green light, that tells you can buy, and it gives more confirmation of momentum being on your side. So when you get into a long position, you know that you have, the wins to your sales. But great question. Let's see. I've been trading Chinese stocks, NIO, been on it. Yeah. NIO has been one we've been talking about the last few weeks. It's definitely been a great trade there. That's what I need when to sell. So, Kellen, if you're looking for when to sell, we've done lots of videos on knowing when to sell. You can go back and watch any of our live streams that we've done in the past directly from our Facebook page. Just click on the live section. You can find a history of all of them there. We have a lot going over, though, on when to sell with that. So if that's what you're looking for, make sure to go check that out. I think you could really find some great tips in there. All right. So now we've covered what's going on in the market today. There's a lot going on here. We had GDP data coming out this morning. We have the Jackson Hole Symposium that started this morning at 9 a.m. The head of the Fed spoke at I believe 9:10. I believe is when he was supposed to start. And we have a lot of data, a lot of economic data coming out that could really have an impact on today. So today's been a wild ride. As we can see, even with that, we're not seeing the bias that we would prefer to see with the advanced declines, telling us we should just be holding off for the day, manage our current holdings, not picking up anything new for the time being, though. All right, so with that, let's go ahead, start to jump into what we want to take a look at here today. And this is something that's overlooked. Under the More section in the bottom, you have the VectorVest views right at the top every single night. If we go open up the views, you can see a history of the last week. If we tap on the views, it's essentially a written out, detailed version of that daily color guard report I talk about on the homepage there. One of the things that's great with going through the views, though, is that you can find a lot of insight on what's going on in the market. It talks about the movement of all of our indicators on a week over week and day over day basis, tells you of any major changes in them. But then the main thing is looking at the strategy. The strategy section tells you exactly what to be doing every single day. This is making it for an individual as simple as possible and telling you exactly what to be doing. If you want to help remove your emotions out of your investing, this is a great way to do so. As you can see last night, it said strong corporate earnings along with rising tech shares combined to send Wall Street to a higher close. But with one green light and an up situation, prudent investors should protect profits. This is a clear warning sign to people that if you're not protecting profits already, then you should be doing so right now. And what protecting profits means is either, tightening up your stops, putting or buying options like put options, for example, as insurance or protection. Maybe even, just simply closing the stock outright. If you have a great gain, you don't want to give it all back. So those kind of opportunities are great, especially when it tells you automatically what to be doing. There's no guesswork to be involved. It's pretty self-explanatory what it's telling us here. And then even as the aggressive investor, you should be playing the market as it develops. Obviously, take it on a day-to-day basis. We are, seeing we're in the late phases of a rally. So you got to take advantage of it while you can, but be aware that we could see a quick change at any point. Another thing that you can find here is the 1-day and 5-day Derby winners. So for anybody not familiar with it, especially if you're just a mobile user exclusively, the Derby is a tool for the desktop. It's for a real-time trading tool that we use for day trading, swing trading, and a lot of other things. But the main thing that we can find with it is identifying what's working right now in these markets. So for example, the 1-day winners, what it's looking at is, VectorVest has about 250 plus searches that I'm aware of pre-built into the database for people to use on the desktop application, which can be seen right above me. This is going through every single one of those and telling us what are the best performers out of all of them as of the close of yesterday. Essentially what's working right now. The 5-day winners is looking at, the consistency of a certain strategy day in and day out. So for 5 consecutive days. There's a few different pieces of information that you can actually get from reading the views or from looking at the 1-day and 5-day Derby winners. The first is momentum, or where the market is biased still. If we saw all bullish in both the 1 and 5-day, that tells us everything is still going good, smooth sailing. But as you can see here in the 5-day winners, we do have a bearish search actually taking the number 1 spot, telling us we're starting to see a little bit of weakness showing here and telling us to be careful. Now, this is something to pay attention to as we move forward over the next few days, because if we start to see more and more bearish searches making their way into these, even if the markets are moving higher, that's telling us something is going on underneath, the main scene of the market, and telling us that we need to be careful and be aware. Now, there's also another strategy known as the Midnight Riders here at VectorVest, or the Midnight Cowboys, if you will. Now, this has been a consistent trading plan that we've advocated for. We've done lots of videos on it over the years. But essentially the way it goes is you look at both the 1 and 5-day winners and you see if you have a match in both of them. If you do, that tells you exactly where to get your stocks from. Now, sometimes you won't see, some of these that are matching in both the 1 and 5-day in the mobile. But for example, right now for the 1-day, you had price and volume winners. On the 5-day, you have aggressive stocks. These kind of scans or searches are in the mobile app, so you can take advantage of them, find the stocks that they're looking at, and pick ones that are from there that you can, you can relate to or you like, and take advantage of it while the short-term uptrend still remains here. So, for example, if we go back to the more options and we go to the screeners, we can go to explore screens if you're not familiar with them. You can go to all right there. We scroll down here a little bit and you got price and volume losers for the downside and price and volume winners for the upside. Now, just to be clear, all of these are on the premium version of the app. So if you're not on the premium version, you may not see these. If you need any help or want to upgrade to them, you can either click on the link in the description of today's video, or you can just give our support a call. Either or can get you what you want. So as we can see, BMCH up almost 20% today alone. Huge move higher. You can see it's been running for quite some time. Great looking stock. Like what we see. Yeah, definitely, take advantage of it while it's continuing to move higher. Auto as well, up 15.5%. SOL up almost 10%. REK up just shy of 20. AMC up 20. So you can see some pretty big winners. This was telling us yesterday that these stocks, or this search, has been working in the current uptrend. Well, now you find some stocks and look how good they're doing automatically right out of the gate here for you. Not too shabby. But if we go back here, you can find a lot of other great searches that we've talked about over the past. If you go to more, you go to the premium watch list though. Come down. We saw daily boomers in there. There's one. You have Midas Touch stocks. It was Midas Touch RT descending. So you just change the sort to RT. And boom, you've got the stocks that it's looking for that are currently working in today's markets. Another option is when you go to the screener, you go to featured screens. You have prudent, conservative, and aggressive. We saw aggressive stocks there right here for you. You can find some decent looking candidates as well. ICLK, I saw somebody talking about that just a moment ago. Found it right here. FNGU was talked about in our daily color guard report as one of our hot stocks potentially. You have HMY, which has been one of the top stocks for quite some time. So you have a lot of great opportunities showing themselves here that you could easily make money with. And we know they're working because we saw them in the views. We saw that they're working day over day. Some of them are working for the last week, but it tells us what is working right now. A lot of people have issues trying to figure out, what stock should I get into? Where should I look? What's working right now? Well, by looking at the views on a nightly basis, it can tell you exactly that. Now, if you don't want to go ahead and read the views on your own, that's fine. I completely get it, especially in today's modern age of technology. Nobody reads the articles anymore. Everybody just wants the video of it, if you will. Well, I talk about it every single week, week in and week out. The daily color guard report found right here on the homepage recaps everything that you need to know from that nightly video or that view section that we just looked at. So if you don't want to read the whole thing, just simply watch the 5 to 10 minute long video on a nightly basis, and that'll make sure that you stay up to date with what's going on. We talk about the 1 and 5 day Derby winners. If there's any changes or anything that we notice with them, we'll point that out as well. So you can always keep up to date with all of this here right from the homepage of the mobile app. So, what is the link to put on a desktop? I'm having some issues for some reason. Matthew, just give our support a call. I don't have the specific link with me right now, but you can definitely give our support a call and they will be glad to help you out there. All right. So, I do have a poll going as well right now. Just kind of curious about it. Let's see. Awesome. I see people already answering it, so that tells me it's live. I'm wondering, how many of you guys actually watch the views on a nightly basis or just on a weekly basis? Either, day to day or at least on the weekends. I'm just curious to see, especially if you're new, how many people are actually watching that video or reading the views on a nightly basis? Because, this is a very important aspect of what VectorVest does. And I want to make sure that, we get more and more people reading them or watching the videos because, from being here for over 9 years and talking with hundreds of or thousands of subscribers that we've had over the years, that's one feedback I get from them time and time again is, they didn't watch that video before. They found a lot more benefit with their VectorVest when they started watching that nightly video. So just kind of curious to see what everybody's, where everybody stands on that. Let's see. How many times can you buy, sell, and trade? Antonio, as many as you want. Just be careful. There are some tax consequences if you get in and out too frequently in a stock. That may be something you want to talk to your broker or talk to a tax accountant about, though. Can you use the app to buy stocks? Yes. As long as you have, if we go to the more section, You have the Trade Now functionality, Ally Interactive or Trade Station. If you're in Canada, we also have Quest Trade. But if you have any three of these brokers, or if you don't have a broker yet, you can sign up for one through this, and that will give you access to be able to place your trades right through the mobile app to your brokerage. You buy insurance by buying put options on stocks you own, usually. Yeah, exactly. That is, a way of protecting yourself, Trevor. How can you put insurance on a stock? Oh, okay. So I think Trevor was answering that. So John, insurance on a stock can be done by, buying a put option. There are some, if you're not familiar with options, there are some caveats to that on what you should do to best suit that trade. But in general, if you have questions about that, make sure you go back and watch the How to Protect Your Profits video. We gave some rules and some general guidelines if you're buying put options on your stocks. There's no stream. Ramel, everything seems to be good on my end, so I'm not sure why you're having issues there. No. What should be? Greg, if you're not seeing it update daily, give our support a call because it should update every single day for you. Yeah, I agree, Mike. It's not only draining for you, but it drains us sometimes too with how long some of those videos are. Awesome. Glad to see that, Rob. What would be the recommendation for a newbie that wants to find a broker? So honestly, any one of these three is great. There's a lot of different brokerages out there. It's really, what you prefer and what gives you the offers or services that you're looking for there. Different brokers have different features that they allow or they offer. So it really depends on what you're looking for with that one. All right. So with that, hopefully, you guys are finding that useful. Hopefully, that sheds some light on something that you may not have been familiar with and will allow you guys to be able to take advantage of things like this. I see so far coming in about mixed, about 56% of people saying they do watch it on a weekly basis and 44% saying that they don't. So, we've only got a small sample size. If you haven't answered the survey yet or the poll, make sure to go do that as well. Because I want to see, based off of bigger numbers, how often people are watching the video or who is watching the video and who's not. It doesn't show me who you are, so if you say no, it's okay. Don't worry. It's not going to tell me who said yes and who said no. I just want to see, the number of people that watch it and the number of people that don't. Especially if you're new, that's going to really, be a key benefit to you on telling you when to get in, when to get out, keeping yourself protected in the market. So with that, let's go ahead. Jump into the fan favorite here today where we'll analyze any stock that you want to take a look at in less than 20 seconds. So go ahead, start putting your stocks in the comment section. If you haven't already hit that like button, make sure to do so right now. Make sure to hit that share button as well because all that helps me continue to grow this community. And the more people in this community, the more feedback I can get from you guys on how to better improve the app. And then that goes to our development team. And those features, a lot of features that you guys recommend actually get implemented and put into practice in the mobile app. So, your guys' information is crucial to make the app as the way you guys want it, essentially. All right. So with that, let's go see what's the first stock that we got here today. Now, as always, to analyze any stock, it's great for on the go. All you got to do is just go to the magnifying glass in the upper right-hand corner and start typing your symbols. So the first one, hey, no worries, Alex. Glad to have you here. Hopefully you come around more because if you're looking to grow your knowledge on the market, this is a great place to come. All right, so the first stock, ENPH. Let's go take a look. ENPH. So you have 4 indicators that we use to analyze the stock. 2 are fundamental indicators. 1 is more of a technical indicator. All of them are cast on scales 0 to 2. All you got to remember is above 1 is good, below 1 is bad. First one is RV, the long-term potential compared to a AAA corporate bond or a relatively safe investment. So above 1 tells us we'd expect to see it outperform a AAA corporate bond over the next 1 to 3 years. That's good. It has good upside potential right now. RS is the relative safety. It's looking at the consistency and predictability of their fundamentals or their financial reports. Essentially, it's an indicator of risk. Above 1, less risk. Below 1, more risk. So at 1.26, stock definitely has less risk associated with it here. Then the timing, this is more of the technical indicator. So above 1 to closer to 2 it is, the stronger the uptrend. Below 1 to closer to 0 it is, the stronger the downtrend. As we can see at 1.85, it's been rocking and rolling, been making a lot of people a lot of money. So overall, the stock is definitely favorable because the VST is looking at a combination of all three of those wrapped into one. This is a great indicator you're not going to really find anywhere else. A lot of places just look at either the fundamentals of a stock or the technicals of a stock. VectorVest is the only service that I've ever seen, and I've used a lot of them, that looks at both and puts them into one simple to read indicator to give you clear, concise information you can actually use rather than just scads of data that you have to decipher on your own. So as we can see, the stock has great long-term potential, solid fundamentals, nice strong uptrend. So yeah, this stock's still favorable right now. Let's see what the next one is. PRPL. There we go. PRPL. Now this one, good long-term potential. It does have a little bit more risk associated with it though. Timing tells us it's in a slight decline on a short-term basis. Overall, the stock's favorable, but really more so average than favorable. With the timing being below 1, probably going to say we'd stay away from this for right now. Where do you find what part, Conwall? Let me know what you're looking for, and I'd be glad to show you exactly where you can find it. Apps, let's go see. So apps, you have great long-term potential. You have pretty solid fundamentals, steady uptrend on a short-term basis. Therefore, the stock's favorable. Yeah, it's pulling back a little bit, but after such a big run, you're going to see, that pullback occurring. People are going to take profits at some point, but overall, still looking pretty solid. Let's see, RKT. All right, RKT, good long-term potential. A lot of risk associated with it, though. You have some pretty strong momentum for the short-term basis. So overall, the stock is favorable. This is more of an aggressive stock. So if you're not an aggressive trader, probably not going to be a stock for you. NVAX. Let's go see. NVAX. Great long-term potential. Does have a lot of risk associated with it. No surprise there. It's in a pretty decent decline on a short-term basis. Stock is still favorable because it has good long-term potential, but the timing tells us it's just not the right time to be in it. Apple APPL. Give me one moment here. All right. Looking at Apple. Good long-term potential. Solid fundamentals. No surprise there. Looking at the timing, really strong uptrend. Once again, tech stocks have been leading this charge higher here in the market. No surprise, Apple has been on a tear. Overall, the stock's definitely favorable right now. All right, let's see. GPL. GPL, you have good long-term potential. Does have some risk associated with that potential, though. Pretty solid uptrend right now. Therefore, the stock's favorable. QDEL. All right, so down 36% here today. So this one, you have great long-term potential, pretty solid fundamentals, but timing is just trash right now. Basically in free fall, probably news-driven if I were to guess. I'm not familiar with the stock particularly, but most likely this is going to have something to do with some news-driven. If you're familiar with it, let me know, but maybe earnings related, something's going on with that one. RRR, let's see. Poor long-term potential, does have a lot of risk associated with it. You do have a strong short-term uptrend, so this is more of a speculative stock with some strong momentum currently. Therefore, if you're a speculator, this is definitely a favorable one. If you're not a speculative trader or a momentum trader, definitely going to be staying away from that. Let's see, BYND. There we go. BYND, poor long-term potential, a lot of risk associated with it. Timing, even though it's up almost 10% here today, timing is still in a downtrend. Overall, the stock's not favorable. SSL, good long-term potential, but does have a lot of risk associated with it. It's in a steady decline. Overall, the stock's about average. Going to be staying away from it based off that momentum, though. And then OSUR. There we go. Let's go ahead, take a look at this one. So this one, poor long-term potential, about average risk associated with it. It's in a sharp decline. Therefore, the stock is definitely not favorable. Maybe as a short seller, but definitely not going to be buying it long right now. All right, let's see. SR&E we can take a look at. SR&E, we've definitely traded it a lot here at VectorVest over the years. But we can take a look right now. Good long-term potential, a lot of risk associated with it. It's in a steady free fall. Therefore, the stock is not favorable. ICLK. ICLK, great long-term potential. Does have a lot of risk associated with it, though. Really strong short-term uptrend. Therefore, the stock is favorable. Now, I just want to preface this, especially if you're new here. When I say the stock is favorable, that means as of right now, if you're currently holding it. Market timing that we saw on the homepage tells us whether or not it's okay to buy. With the advances and declines basically being 1-to-1, it tells us we wouldn't be buying anything today, even if the stock is favorable right now. I just want to make that clear that market timing trumps any individual rating on a stock. That's a common misconception, so I just want to make sure everybody's clear on that, especially if you're new. While we go through this, it's something that, I want to make sure that nobody misinterprets when we talk about, analyzing your stocks right now. So, all right, glad we got that out of the way. Just wanted to preface that there. Okay, let's see. Let's get back into it. XPEV. Not seeing that one. ABT. Abbott Labs. Poor long-term potential, pretty solid fundamentals though. So more of a conservative play, not trying to outperform the market, but just trying to, preserve your capital there. Decent uptrend. Therefore, the stock's favorable still. Let's see. Hemp. Hemp Naturals or American Hemp? Which one? DHT. Good long-term potential. Great long-term potential, actually. But it does have a lot of risk. It's been in a really strong decline. Therefore, the stock's average right now. GAXY. Not finding that. Is that in the U.S. markets there, Kellen? NOC. Let's go see. So great or good long-term potential, solid fundamentals, steady uptrend. Therefore, the stock's favorable still. VZ. About average long-term potential, about average risk associated with it. It's in a slight uptrend, therefore pretty much the stock's average. Not a whole lot going on Verizon right now. Let's see. ABB. The View Watch. Oh, so that's on the homepage there, Conwall. The daily color guard report is where you can find the views in a video format there for yourself. All right, so ABB, poor long-term potential, a lot of risk associated with it. You do have a slight uptrend, but not enough to outweigh the risk. So therefore, the stock's basically neutral or average right now. Is it possible to sort the low price stocks? Yeah, on the desktop you can create your own custom sorts. You can do pretty much anything you want to do there, Raymel. And if you're interested, if you're not on the desktop, you're interested in taking a look at it, you can always give our support a call. They can set up a trial for you. If you have the desktop, then the app comes free with the desktop subscription as well. I just want to throw that out there because that is, a nice feature, and they will sync up together. So if you have, let's say, a watch list built in the mobile app, it'll sync to the desktop and vice versa. Yeah, Joseph. So that's what I was just talking about. It's the PC version or the Windows version. You can see it actually right above me. You can see it has a lot of functionality. Does have some more customizable features as well. So if you're ever interested in it, or if anybody's interested in a desktop, pick up the phone. If you're already on your phone, just give our support a call and they'd be glad to help you out, answer any questions, and go over the differences there for you. Hey, nothing wrong with that, David. Get it done quicker. Awesome. Cool. So I see that coming in there. Let's go see Plug. We talked about it last night. Clean energy in general has been on a great run recently. Plug's been taking advantage of that, but this one is a speculative stock still. You have poor long-term potential. You do have a lot of risk, but that high momentum right now. If you're a speculator, this is a good trade. You have momentum to it. You're a momentum trader. This is definitely a good play. So overall, the stock's favorable currently. Lowe's, LOW, great long-term potential, less risk associated with it. You have a nice, strong uptrend. So yeah, the stock is definitely favorable still. DOCU, you have about average long-term potential, a little bit more risk associated with it than the average stock out there. Pretty steady uptrend though, so therefore the stock's still favorable. Let's see, HOV. You got good long-term potential, some additional risk associated with it though. Really strong uptrend, so therefore the stock's still favorable. Let's see, SBSW. SBSW, you have good long-term potential, a little bit more risk associated with it, some strong momentum, so therefore the stock's still favorable. NIO, let's go take a look. So NIO, still a speculative play, poor long-term potential, a lot of risk associated with it, but really hot momentum to it, therefore the stock's still favorable. It's down 3% here today, but after the big moves that we've seen, that 3% pullback is nothing compared to the upside that it's had recently. Momo, let's go take a look. Haven't seen that one in a while, so we'll analyze it here. You have good long-term potential. You do have a little bit more risk associated with it. Nice steady uptrend, so overall the stock's still favorable. And also, if you're already a subscriber, by all means, you can pull up the mobile app on the go wherever you're at, do the same analysis that we're doing on any stock at any time. If you're not already a subscriber, you can click on the link, download it for free, take out a 2-week trial, try it out. Seeing is believing. Putting it through the ringer for yourself will prove to you how powerful the app can be, no matter what style of investor you are. And you can do the same kind of analysis as many times as you want, wherever you're at, as a new user, even on trial. And, once you want to continue with it, you can do this wherever you're at as well there. All right, let's see. BMY, Bristol Myers. So great long-term potential. A little bit less risk associated with it. Uptrend is, not great, but still an uptrend nonetheless. So overall, the stock's still favorable. Let's go see the next one. TTD. Poor long-term potential. A little bit better than average risk associated with this stock. Been on a nice steady uptrend, so overall the stock's still favorable for the time being. BIGC. We'll do a couple more here for the day. So BIGC, poor long-term potential, a lot of risk with this stock. Therefore, it's clearly a speculative trade right now. Does have some momentum. Looks like it just started trading recently. So it's a new stock on the market. Therefore, it doesn't have a lot of consistency. Doesn't have a lot of background that you can check on it or compare it to. So that's why you're speculating right now on a stock like this. But even speculators can make money as momentum traders, and it definitely has some momentum to it right now. Let's see. Go over the view again. So, all right. So real quick, we'll just go back out of here. Go to the more section. And at the top of the more section, you have the VectorVest views. Here you can find the nightly written out report that talks about what's going on in the market, the differences or changes in all of our indicators on a breakdown on a daily basis. The guidance specifically last night said prudent investors should protect profits, telling us that even though the market's been moving higher, we're seeing weakness coming into these higher movements and telling us we should be taking profits on these higher movements. By taking profits, that's either, buying puts as insurance, tightening up your stops, or just simply closing out of the trade completely and taking your profit off the table. And then there's a lot of information on the utilizing the 1-day and 5-day Derby winners. If you want to go back and review it after today's session is over, you can always watch the replay on our Facebook page as well, and you can go back and review all of that information there. All right. Hopefully that answered your question there. Interesting there, Derek. Let's see. All right, got a few more. We'll do a handful more here. So starting off, Tesla. So Tesla, about average long-term potential, a little bit better than average long-term potential over the next 1 to 3 years. You have pretty solid fundamentals, though. They're growing their earnings quarter over quarter, year over year. The company is making money consistently. Really strong uptrend. Therefore, the stock is still favorable. Let's see. BA. Looking at Boeing, poor long-term potential, a lot of risk associated with it. It's in a steady decline. Therefore, the stock is still not favorable right now. IIVI. There we go. So speculative play once again. Poor long-term potential, a lot of risk associated with it. You have a steady decline. The stock is not favorable. OESX. Good long-term potential. A little bit more risk associated with it though, however. Really strong short-term uptrend. Therefore, the stock's still favorable. Just keep an eye on that though. Even if green lights and advanced declines. Yeah, so Mike, as I was talking about, we'll do one more, then we'll go back to the homepage and just reiterate that there for you. Awesome. Thank you for that, Ramel. Hey, I am also a Mac user myself, Daniel. I run Parallels on my my Mac. Actually, it's right behind me. I brought it in here today. So, yeah, I love Parallels, or love my Macs, love my iPhones. I'm a Apple person through and through for over 20 years. So, yeah, definitely don't be afraid. If you have a Mac, it's okay. We have a lot of different options to be able to run VectorVest on that as well. When I first started here, there was only, run it on Parallels, or that was it. Now we've got a lot of different ways to be able to run VectorVest on your Mac. So if you're a Mac user, don't let that scare you. If you were a Mac user before, tried VectorVest, realized it didn't work without doing some extra things, we've definitely made a lot of updates and improvements. So give our support a call. They'd be glad to help you out, get that up and running for you. All right, last one, we'll do Adobe here. ADBE. So Adobe, good long-term potential, strong, solid fundamentals, really strong uptrend. Overall, the stock is clearly going to be favorable here. All right, so to answer that question for Mike, what I was saying is, yeah, we have one green light. It's saying advocates buying safe, undervalued stocks that are rising in price at this time. But we come down here and look at the advances to declines for confirmation. We like to see a 2-to-1 bias in either direction. Either twice as many stocks advancing than declining on an up day, or twice as many stocks declining than advancing on a down day. Yeah, we have a green light, but the advances to declines are 1-to-1, telling us that, if we bought a stock today, we the chances of it going up are the same chances as flipping a coin and choosing heads and getting heads on the first try. It's 50-50. We want to put the probabilities on your side. So that's why we like to see a 2-to-1 bias in either direction. If there's twice as many stocks advancing and declining, and we saw that, one green light, that would tell us that the odds are in our favor that, if we bought a stock today, most likely the probabilities are telling us that that stock will be one that's winning or going higher when we get into it. And that's what you want to do, is you want to start off on a trade on a nice positive note, not starting off, in the hole. So that's why we look at that there. All right. So with that, let me make sure. Awesome. So with that, if you're not already on the VectorVest subscription or on the VectorVest stock advisory app, click on the link in the description. Try it out for yourself. Seeing is believing. You can do all this analysis on your own on the go. If you already are a subscriber, by all means, open it up on the go. Open it up if you're traveling. Tap on that little magnifying glass in the upper right-hand corner. Put in your stocks. Get the analysis that you're looking for. Also, since we did have a lot of people asking about the desktop version as well, if you're interested in it, give our support a call. They can discuss the different features, and they'd be glad to help you out if you want to take a look and try it out. See if it has some extra features that you'd be interested in. Just remember that if you have the desktop, it automatically comes to the mobile app included with it. So that it is a nice benefit to it as well. All right. And on that note, folks, it's been my pleasure being with you here. Thank you, everyone, once again, for all your support, for continuing to, tune in every week to learn more, to educate yourself on how to become a more successful investor. Don't forget, add in VV or hashtag VV High Flyers in the comments. Let's get that trending as well here today, because that is our group and we want to support us as much as we possibly can. So on that note, take care. Have a great day, a great weekend, and make sure to be here next week as we kick off another session at 11 a.m. Eastern here on Facebook Live. Bye for now, everybody. Take care.